Hi. You know, I thought about doing a big self-promotion of crimereports.com, but I figured it might be more interesting to talk about one of the biggest challenges of Gov 2.0, which we just heard about, which is gaining access to relevant data. It's tough at the federal level, and it's really tough at the local level, so I'd like to use crime reports to frame this challenge in the context of local crime data. If you think about it, we are decision-making machines. We do it every day. The price of gas goes up, maybe we decide to drive less, or we get a better car, ride a bike, or take public transportation. But when it comes to crime data, we really have no idea. And the reason for this is not really so much that it's malicious, it's just hard to get. And it's a function really of our form of government, in that municipalities don't report to anyone. They report to a mayor or a city council. They don't report to the state, and they don't report to the federal government. Everything is controlled at the local level. So it's not really realistic for people, or even the president, to set the agenda for government data sharing and engaging the public. Some would argue that the federal government should mandate the laws and require agencies to provide data feeds. But this is America, and there's really a surprising amount of resistance to the idea of the federal government coming in and making and imposing its will on municipalities. So whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's a reality that law enforcement acts alone. So looking at the systems, I don't know if anyone has called 911 before. I have. It's just like TV. They say, what's the nature of your emergency? It goes into a record system, and it basically, these systems live in every single law enforcement agency around the country. So it's okay in New York and LA, Miami, that we spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on these systems. That might seem like a reasonable solution. But we start to multiply that across the country. I don't know if everybody knows this, but there are 18,000 law enforcement agencies across the country, and 93% of those serve a population of fewer than 20,000 people. So we're really spending tons of money, and they're not always, they don't talk to each other, and they certainly don't talk to the public. And I think as they say, $1 billion here and $1 billion there, pretty soon you're talking about real money. So moving right along here, my assertion is that law enforcement agencies already have plenty to do. They don't make their own cars or guns, and they can use Web 2.0 to lift that technological burden and get back to their core mission of reducing crime. I hasten to add that as members of the public, we can't pretend to do it alone. If you work for government, we need you. We need to work together to involve the public and create the future that we want. And I've seen a lot of approaches of ways to open up these databases, and we've seen sunshine laws and in some cases bullying and lawsuits, but we operate from the simple premise that elected officials, that the political will already exists. Hopefully some of you have already seen our website. We've grown, we've done pretty well. We started just about 2 years ago, and we now have about 600 agencies across the country that are providing data to us directly. So we've made it really simple for them to share data. And don't try to go out and download this app. We haven't released it yet. It's coming out at the IACP show, which is the Chiefs of Police show, in a few weeks in Denver. But it really helps people get involved and lets them participate directly instead of just feeding data to them. It gives them the ability to contribute. And we've really focused a lot on design thinking to guide our end-user experience. These pictures are from the last 2 weeks from town halls, and this gets to Tim's point about shaking the vending machine. The meta message here is that people are going to get involved, but we need better input systems if we want participation to be productive instead of just showing up at a town meeting and screaming at their senator. So if the idea is to convene and not control, then we can't be passive and expect government or police to be the superheroes. I think everyone in this room is willing to spend 2 to 3 minutes to help out. Maybe we're not so willing to volunteer for 5 hours, but it really, with these new tools, we're able to contribute in just incremental ways. So if we resolve these pain points for police departments and law enforcement agencies and governments generally, we can celebrate. They can be a great partner for us, but it helps treat them like human beings. We should help work on these pain points. And the really good news here is that this man loves innovation. So he's a Gov 2.0 prodigy. He's already started by setting expectations within his own organization. But I want to point out that he can really do more to get into the machinery of government and make Web 2.0 take effect more quickly. And I think the real things he can do is give priority to grants that create a Web 2.0 public role, and take a friendly stance toward legislation that creates a Web 2.0 public role. And just to recap, we make decisions all the time. We don't have the ability to understand what's happening at our own homes. And the way we talk about relevant, I think, is important in that relevant to me means timely and neighborhood specific. And I just want to say in conclusion that these ideas are neat right now, and that one day I really feel like they will be vital and they'll help us prevent crime and terrorism. Thank you so much.